So, Pedro, we're going to need you to do some trust exercises. I want you to fall backwards, and Ven and I will catch you.
Are you sure about this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Ow.
All right, I'll send you the goddamn bitcoins.
Are you looking to promote your upcoming or existing open source, closed source, Indiegogo, Kickstarter, or Greenlight project for as little as 35 wet stinky cashes? Send us a note at show@linuxgamecast.com for more information. Coming up on this Linux GameCast Weekly, Gabe talks about his box, AMD cocks up another driver release, Ledwerks brings the penguins, and Humble goes full troll. Then we throw the chairs at Assault Android Cactus. All this, plus your hate mail. Let's go. And welcome back to another Linux GameCast Weekly, the show that covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and more importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. Joining me every week from the great white north, the sweetest man in the world, a book, and also all the way from Portugal on some shoddy ADSL for the time being, Master Mateus. Together we form a bit of a cocaine Voltron that is, well, I think they put it best when they said, enjoy Linux GameCast Weekly. It's fantastically abrasive. But before we get into the news, let's talk about what we've been up to this week. And I'm going to pick a button. 3, 2, 1. Oh, this man. Do it.
Oh, I've got around to finally futzing with the new wine patches for the increased performance, and I'm actually really impressed with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
much of
they should totally
pita
merge
were
those
they?
patches to the mainline thing.
Have they?
Really?
Oh, excellent. I actually went and got a copy of Wine 171 and had to patch them all manually. All of them! Patch P1, patch P1, patch P1. And I'm like, right, there's a reason I do all this shit through RPMs now.
So,
Yep.
what did you test them against?
Tested on Civ 4 because my roommate wanted to play it on the big TV, so I'm like, oh no, I'm taking a freaking. So I was actually impressed. I got my my alternatively acquired copy of Skyrim. I do have a legitimately purchased copy of Skyrim. I just didn't want to install another copy of Steam on, so I just wanted to test it out, and it honestly looks pretty good. I'm impressed.
Sweet, P-Man.
And I finally got my man balls out of Nori's box and decided to install a custom ROM on my phone. Was already
Nori wasn't
rooted.
too
I
happy
just
about that one.
I could never muster the courage. I could never muster the courage to actually install a custom ROM because there were always teeny tiny problems. But this one got Jelly Bean 4.1 Ultimate working pretty damn sweet. So actually very positively surprised at how stupidly painless it was.
And all the way over here in Vinland, I finally dealt with, Golem Vin going, you need a new tablet. And I was like, no, absolutely don't. He's like, but we want it. It's like, absolutely, I'm not buying. It's like, we need it. It's like, no, we don't. We have enough. And we made a deal, and I was like, well, you just shut up if I buy the Nexus 10 tablet. And he was like, mostly. So I have that. I've been barfing rainbows all over G Plus and the Twitter nets about it. It is a stupidly fantastic device. Auto-updated to 4.3. Pain in the ass to unlock the bootloader and to get SU privileges, but after that, it's just ridiculous. It's stupidly good. And the resolution, the amount of pixels the thing is pushing is mental when you think about it, because...
Was it like a 2K display?
Yeah, it's a 2K display on a 10-inch.
Mm-hmm.
I shit you not. After I was watching something on Quickster, formerly known as Netflix, and just doing some browsing. Then I was reading an article. Then I sit down at a 1080p display, and I was like, "This is a bit blurry." So that's that. That's the end of that story. But should we do the world some good, J-Man?
I think we should do the world some horrible evil and just get naked right now.
Well,
yeah, totally.
Before we do that, how about we make with a whoring?
Sure, you can find our tramp stamps at linuxgamecast.com/podcast. We got RSS feeds for SD video, HD video, SD audio. We got our Amazon affiliate links, donato buttons, leaderboards, a handy dandy e-stocking guide right
now,
up at
what
the top.
can they get if they give us 10 quid a month? Wouldn't that
If you give us $10, then you get access to our show notes, so you get to see the wacky crap that goes on before the show airs. Watch the sausage before it's made, as Ben likes to say. But we also have our forums, Chat Realm, statically linked, linuxgamecast.com/discussions-2.
click on the forums?
Or click on the forums link if you're, a noob. But anyways, we got lots of crazy stuff. It's where we are the other 6 days of the week.
Couple things. Even Free Jack is screaming about apparently a hidden Easter egg in Valve's announcement. I think we'll touch on that a bit later.
Indeed.
Maybe you should get in there right now and check it out for your own.
Indeed. Actually, no. Wait until the show's over and then check it out. You can also go to youtube.com/LinuxGameCast to watch our videos. We got players, how-tos, B-reels, all sorts of good stuff. Watch all our episodes. Give us lots of that YouTube ad revenue. And we got a Facebooks page. Oh, right. I guess I should have mentioned for Chat Realm, statically linked, you can sign up with any account. Twitter, Google+, Identica, all that good stuff. But right, Facebook page. This idiot runs it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We're doing Linux_gaming first because Ven doesn't appreciate the Facebook page enough.
So no Facebook. No more Facebook.
Fine. No. Fine. Let's go to our Facebooks page.
Yes, we have a Facebook page.
I'm trying to wipe it from my memory, man. Yeah, it's a thing. We have 77 whole likes because our community manager does something with his infinite free time, and it fuck all is not working on
Right,
that.
so moving on to our second favorite Kiwi, reddit.com/r/Linux_gaming. Remember, kids, the underscore is the most important part of this formula, where we got lots of wonderful Linux gaming
14,000
news.
penguin gamers.
Yeah, that's a lot of them. They should all come to our website. And that about wraps up our whoring. But chillin', hello, children. We like to educate you. We like to educate you on how to map inputs.
Oh, are we about to tell the crackers, our favorite crackers, to gather
our
around?
favorite little crackers, yeah. So, Pedro, why don't you tell our favorite little crackers what's up?
This actually comes from one of our very own Shetrel members, aka Mr. Rio-chan7, and he's got a little something in his GitHub page called Anti-Micro.
Uh-huh.
And like Jordan said, it allows you to map input, keyboard strokes into your gamepad something. So if a game doesn't support gamepad, now you can hack your way around it and get it to work. And for my testing, it works, and it works very well.
Does it sound like something you would ever use, J-Man?
I didn't give this a try because I don't really use a controller all that much unless the game specifically calls for one.
I've been thinking about giving it a try just to play distance, but it's one of those things. It's free as in doesn't cost anything. The links will be in the show notes for this PSA. Ryo-chan7, numero 7.
Numero 70.
Hunt it down, find it, make sweet, sweet love to it, because that's how we do things.
But you know what you can't make sweet, sweet love to?
Lies.
That horse.
Nope.
That horse
Twice.
that we keep under our porch.
Sweet love all the time.
You can't really make love to it in its current state. Maybe in its previous state.
That is no way.
But
listen, if I can do that to that bowl of freshly whipped cream, I can do it to this gelatinous pile of a dead horse that we beat every week. And
it's our Steam
Linux update of the week. So, shit just got real, right?
Half-Life 3 confirmed!
Yeah. Confirmed!
Zom.
This is store.steampower.com/trolling the hell out of the interwebs. I mean, living room.
So we were talking about something FreeJack posted on Chat Realm, so I think now we should bring that up.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So see that nice blue dot? Look what happens when you fuck with the color balance.
Zom.
Zom confirmed.
Okay, so Valve is officially just outright trolling us now.
Pretty much.
They're just like, look at those assholes.
So that's the thing. What it does say for the audio listeners, last year we shipped a software feature called Big Picture, a user interface tailored for television and gamepads. This year we've been working on even more wet, stinky ways to connect the dots for our customers who want Steam in the living room. Soon we'll be adding you to our design process so that you can help shape the future of Steam. Here's a kitty cat and a 3-button controller.
Indeed. Well, Sega Genesis had 3 buttons, but anyways.
Actually, the first version, the second one, when Street Fighter 2 came out, you got the 6.
Yeah, well, the 6.
Yeah.
But I played all my games with the 3-button controller. But yes, that's definitely a thing.
Thing. And Jordan, so
in
we hear
38
you
hours.
like hats.
My hats, my precious. No, so Steam Guard has been modified to give you
If
some
I only
protection.
had that video of Golem masturbating, that'd be great. Go ahead.
Well, I can masturbate while doing my Golem impression if that helps.
And nothing would change from regular. Go ahead.
Nothing at all.
But Steam Guard has been modified to give your items protection if you want to hold on to your hats, a la Golem. They give you a little Q&A. Basically, as long as you've been diligent with your Steam Guard, your items will not be affected.
Being
if
new
you
to
care
this,
about this thing, it's on their forums.
yeah, I mean it's the thing. I mean, being new to Steam, I didn't realize like the hats and all that. I mean, we saw that massive spike in Linux adoption because they wanted the penguin thing.
Yeah, and they had that cracked out script that just installs
Right.
Linux on a virtual box just so they can get the hat. Oh, stupid people. But
how high
you
can
know
you count?
But you know what? It makes me a bit green.
Green with
just a
what?
little bit.
Yeah, so September 18th, 25 more titles have been greenlit, including Warsaw,
Beulah. Now,
Warsaw.
this is, I think, the first, all right. You got to put this, because there's going to be so much nerd rage response if we do this wrong. We appreciate your emails. The first Linux open, because as soon as I say this, open source game available on Steam, also available on Linux. Psst, right there. I just took a mental note of the timestamp, and that's the video I'm going to send you. So, yeah, man, we have 25 new Warsaw, a couple of other games in there, right?
Yeah, a couple ones that are on Linux. I didn't go through and get the exact list, but you can check that out yourself. The link will be in the show notes.
It's looking pretty decent. I mean,
yeah,
nothing.
We got Monochrome. We got
Warsaw,
another graphic novel, Long Live the Queen, because
it's going to have sex with something, of course.
That queen happens to be Catherine the Great.
Unfortunately, though, some of the games that were actually looking pretty damn good. Some of the games that were actually looking pretty damn good in this list do not support Linux.
But you know what? Pedro, I think it's time for some children's card games.
We are?
Well, I cannot
tactics.
argue with your tactics, sir.
Yes, this is
Segue,
Ironclad
bitches.
Tactics. It's a casual indie strategy game, very Tactics-like. If you ever played a
Card
Tactics
game.
game, You know exactly what we're talking about. And this one comes with a very nice presentation. You know, the comic book style story delivery, it looks interesting, but it's a strategy game. It's tactics. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't...
You know what? At least it's not another first-person shooter.
Granted, but it could be an RPG or a racing game or, you know, something we kind of need on Linux.
For $14.99, what stinky caches? Yes, that's a thing, and even in the notes, amounts of fucks given, Z.
0! But then I hear you like paying money for free stuff.
Well, apparently you are going to have to throw down some wet stink if you want this, because what was once free is no longer. Vedrun, we covered this a long time back, right?
Way back when.
Yeah, a couple of months ago?
Yeah. It's your World War II, you know, it's a squad-based multiplayer.
World War I, buddy. World War I.
World War I.
Fine, I can't keep track of your wars. But it's still there, and they've went from P-Man. I think you said they've pulled all the free copies of the original standalone versions. They're for naught, right?
Yep, they're gone. Every single one of those links that used to, you know, let you download the free versions, the betas, they're gone.
Wayback Machine.
They're all gone. And now they want monies.
Which isn't a bad thing, but I mean, that's kind of like, really? You had to nix all your free stuff?
You know, and I'm sure there are free copies still floating around, so really, doesn't really get you much. People aren't going to pay. Maybe people who don't know will pay the $13.50, but
$13.49. Yeah, I mean, it's the thing. It's early access. And a long sorted line of brown first-person shooters.
Well, to be fair, if there was a thematic appropriateness for brown, it would be in World War I, given all the trenches. But time to change gear. Murder Prostitute, because Euro Truck Simulator 2 is out for Linux on
Steam.
We've talked about this guy a lot. You know about this. This is the #1 premier truck simulator in the world that runs on Linux.
And I still hold a firm belief that Pedro has such a fondness for it because it makes him feel employed.
Yes.
I actually like the game, but it's not because of that. It's because it's a good driving game. It's a very good driving sim, and it's not a boring one. So, good on those guys for that. Unfortunately, on my calculator, this, latest version still has a couple of issues.
The Euro Truck hardcoreness.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that hot lorry. Oh, I mean.
Look at that exhaust, don't you? I just want to stick your 3 cocks in it.
It's a driving game,
yes.
And it's fun.
But I think that wraps up our Steam
what are we going to be throwing down wet stinkies on? Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
$24.99 to simulate board. All right.
Well, there's probably going to be like a couple $100 worth of DLC on top of that too. You've seen Train Simulator, right? With its like
no, these aren't the same guys that make Train Simulator.
Yet.
These are not the same guys. Yet.
But
there's a gold bundle for 34 wet stinkies. Includes 2 items. Oh, yeah, going east.
The one DLC that is available.
Aha.
So I think it's time to un-Catherine the Great, this dead, liquefied, gelatinous horse. Chuck it under the porch for another week.
So we got to say nay.
We got to say nay to the horse. Yes, that's true.
So what's coming up next?
Coming up next, regular news.
It's time for the regular moose. Or news.
Moose?
Yes.
The hell's English?
Let's not use the moose and change to another animal then.
How about
Penguins.
Hell Elks?
Hell Elks.
The Hell Elks are Ven's thing. I'm going with penguins. Am I right, Ven?
Nope, you're Moose now.
Moose.
Okay,
For the rest
fine, whatever.
of the day.
But this is Ledwerks, a machine for penguins. Take it away, Ven.
Leadwerks Game Tournament 3, a machine for penguins. We are pleased to announce the third Leadwerks Game Tournament, or Ledwerks, however you want to say it. The final tournament before the release of, He Who Shall Not Be Named Any Further, 3.1 for Linux. This competition's theme is machines. Use the new joint motor. It's a contest, right?
It is a contest.
You do that, your chances of winning, you could win a Nexus 7 Peasants Nexus 10. Or a copy of Amnesia, a machine for pigs, and as prize doors, and third prize, you get a
No, you get swag. Well, swag.
You get the moose.
And no one wants
It's the swag
moose.
bag.
The moose is the most dangerous part. Take a little video here. The whole thing is you need to make something scary and show it off. Just release the damn thing, alright?
Hey, man.
And I'm kind of
I
glad
would
that they're doing this competition.
I would rather that a lot more people become aware of Ledwerks just because they need to know about good Linux game development tools for Linux, as opposed to Unity, which makes all our Linux games on Windows.
And this competition is a very, very good starting point for just that, because we will get at least one moderately decent game for Linux made on Ledwerks. Good on them.
I promise
He's
that.
good, comrade.
It is very
Yes.
good, and I hear from people that we may get copy of the Leadwerks game engine for internet.
Yeah.
Right?
Quit being so open.
But speaking of Russians, we got Open Red Alert. It's on Desura, and for those of you who don't know what this is, we've talked about this before. It is an open source re-implementation of the Command and Conquer Red Alert game. If you want to play some American smashing Russians or some commie bastards smooshing Yankee bastards, this is your game. But holy man, I haven't thought about Red Alert in so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like I remembered it from like 1430, whenever it was originally. Wow.
And I'm probably one of the very few people in the world that still hasn't played a single Command and Conquer or Red Alert game ever.
Ever.
But
Yeah,
it
well,
is a thing.
everyone who counts has played Command and Conquer Red Alert, Pedro. I mean, Moose.
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 Moose. But you know what, Moose? Tell us about Isabel.
Isabel or Isabel or however that's spelt. It's a new RPG on Desura. And Ven actually, he recorded a little B-reel and put it up on LinuxGameCast.com. You can find the link, just like everything else, on the show notes. And it was actually looking very, very tempting. Because it looks like the
really
original.
good until you actually play it and figure out
Yeah,
they picked the most choice screenshots.
Yeah, no, I was actually gonna buy it, and then I saw Ben's things in the show notes, and I'm like, oh well, nope.
Yep.
But you'll see fuck mothering Vin.
Yeah, the fuck.
I saw
Fuck
that
Mothering
one.
Ven
Fuck
and his
Mothering
quest
Ven, and
to
I'm
swamp.
like, really? Really?
Well, it's Ben. What do you expect? This guy's ego is through the roof.
It's brilliant like that.
Seriously, Moose.
My biggest issue with this, I mean, this is available. Where does this come from? What moon company? Forever-entertainment.com.
Yes.
You can wait on that to download.
Or you can pick it up on Desura.
Definitely going to give this some shares, maybe, possibly. It is written in Unity, and my biggest issue is, it's like, guys, you made this as an app. Then you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
Unity exports to x86 and gaming platform. Oh yeah, we'll do that. Because if you try to control it with your wireless gerbil and your keyboard, man, there's a whole lot of like, fuck you going on there.
Yeah, I'm personally not very comfortable paying €10 for an Android game. Nope.
Don't you want to pay 10 quid?
I you know what? For what we're talking about next, I don't want to pay anything.
Oh.
Well, you might have already paid. I did. I got some spare keys, so we may give those away sometime. But how about you, Vin?
Well, all right. Now, we talked about the This is basically a humble malfunction at this point. They've kept good on their word to add some new games to that bundle.
New.
Yeah, right. And they're actually all right. J-Man, hear me out on this.
Go ahead. Sock it to me, baby.
All right, sweetness. They're trolling us at this point because they put back in the wine game.
Mr. Limbo himself.
They're just trolling Linux users.
Yeah, this is like a troll fest episode. Valve's trolling us, Humble's trolling us. Everyone's trolling us.
I mean, I guess you get Bastion, a virus named Thum.
A virus named Tom Duchesne.
Rocket Birds, whatever the hell that's supposed to be. The Fez.
Rocket Birds is actually, it showed up on Steam, but it's still a 0-byte download, so no playing it through Steam yet.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and speaking of games and trolling, you know what happens when people do it the right way?
No idea. Tell me about it.
No idea? How about Jordan tells us about it?
Fine.
I'm the topic lady. No, this is... So, remember, on our contact page, it says, do not contact us for your Kickstarter, Indiegogo, whatever the fuck, unless you have a working Linux prototype or working Linux binary. These guys actually have it! Shock and awe! This is Luna's Wandering Stars. This is a Kickstarter for a gravitational puzzle game that really reminds me of that annoying orange thing from YouTube, except with planets. So I tried watching the Kickstarter video for it, and within about, 2 minutes, I kind of wanted to stab something. So this is a physics puzzler. You mess with mass and acceleration and gravitation of planets, and
$1,000 or
all
more.
the planets have different types.
But
of
for
gameplay.
$1,000 or more, Master of Time, you can be a Time Lord, a planet character.
You can be a
plushie,
Time Lord.
your favorite. Special mention in the. That's pretty weak for $4,000.
Yeah, but what are they asking for? They are
Stupidly reasonable.
It's
$4,500.
They have
stupid
more
cheap.
than 2 weeks to go, and they're almost 3/4 of the way there. So.
Yeah, give them a mention. I mean, it's called Serenity Forge. Look that up on the Kickstarters. Just check in the show notes if you're watching this afterwards and you're not watching live, which you should be watching live, because then you get to see my awesome Arch Cup. Arch!
Yep.
Full
And
grips!
now that we're done with all the good news, let's talk about some shitty ones.
Full grips.
All right, first thing, I know this is your story, P-Man, but I never... What?
Hey, Ven, it's M-Man. He's Moose.
Oh,
Moose.
Moose. All right, Moose. Sorry.
Moose.
All right, Moose. What the hell's up with the size of these things, man? What's in there? A new window manager?
It's the Catalyst Control Center. In itself, it takes 90 megabytes on its own.
So I'm guessing they just use bitmap images for...
Yeah. Bitmap
uncompressed
images.
pings, possibly.
Yeah.
Yep. But this actually, it's the... Well, it was the release of the 13.9 FGLRX for Linux.
Was.
But I say was because it's no longer available through their website. I mean, the file is still up. If you still have the direct link, you can still download it. But if you go to the page, you only see AMD Catalyst 13.4. And let me tell you why they pulled it back. They cocked it up. They cocked it up real bad this time.
Portuguese rage.
Giggling
It's
dad.
the third cock up in a row, and this time they forgot to support the 3.10, the 3.11, and the 3.12 kernels.
You mean those kernels that basically everyone are using right now?
Yes. And thankfully, someone in the Google Plus community actually posted this to the Linux community, and he posted a patch from his GitHub. His name is Christoph Kolassa.
We'll call him Koala Man.
Koala Man.
Christoph actually made a patch, and the patch works. I've actually left a post on ShatRealm Static that you can follow just the tutorial. It's really easy. You can get those up and running if you can still find a working link for 13.9. If not, keep using the 13.8 beta because it works.
But Pedro, how did the drivers
Yes?
run? Are they any good?
They are actually, they're very, very good. I tested it with Unigine Heaven 4.0, and I got a better result than I even had with Fuduntu in 13.1, so good on them for that.
Now, J-Man, I'm going to pick your brains on this right quick. As a fellow member of the glorious NVIDIA Master Race.
I you know what? I'm by
Bitches.
graphics cards.
Well,
I'm
you're a bit
graphics
bi.
card.
I mean, you can swing both ways.
I swing all three ways, man.
Giggity. I saw like an attempted explanation about setting up on our favorite subreddit, Linux_gaming. It was like 4 paragraphs about setting up the AMD, whatever NVIDIA codes, and the first top-ranked post was TLDNR by NVIDIA.
Yeah. If you want a game on Linux and you want to have an easy time, go with an NVIDIA card.
But we test all the things.
We test all the
things.
things. Speaking of testing stuff, we're going to throw some chairs at Assault Android Cactus coming up next.
And that's not a fetish.
And we're brutally assaulting some cactuses this week with our lawn chairs. It's Android Assault Cactus, developed by Witchbeam. You can get that on Steam for $14.99 or £13.99 pounds, euros, whatever, or 932.83 Indian rupees, if you're into that. It is, according to them, a twin-stick shoot-'em-up with an emphasis on high pressure and stylish actions. Expect screens full of enemies, buckets of bullets, and high-scoring combo chains. So, that's definitely a thing. This is an early access, so it's not 100% yet. You can still pick it up. So, time to explain our cocked-up, convoluted review system. Chair explanation, please!
Ooh,
So, we've graded everything on a 4 lawn chair metric. 1 lawn chair means that it's fucking shit. 2 lawn chairs means that it's passable, acceptable, may not be our taste, may work for other people, whatever. 3 chairs means that it's good, it's solid, it works, it's great. And 4 chairs just, shut up, take my money, all that good stuff. And we also have to explain our categories of doom, because we apply this 4 chair metric to 4 categories. Mixed with the working, does it actually work? What does it take to actually get it up and running under Linux? Shiny and sounds. Does it look pretty? Does it sound pretty? Controls is pretty self-explanatory. And finally, our subjective category, fun. So, then, did Assault Android Cactus make with the working?
Mix with the working on, get ready to take a drink. And if you're not following our LGC drinking game, get into the announcement section in ShatRealm Static and read the rules.
And prepare to die from alcohol poisoning.
Indeed.
Yeah.
We aim to
Cirrhosis.
kill our listeners, not inform them. But on the Ubuntu 12.04 minimum spec 32-bit NVIDIA-powered Steam boxing just happened to run. Out of the box, 4 chairs.
Add the box.
How about you, J-Man?
Well, I tested it on my AMD Steambox and my NVIDIA gaming rig, and they both worked fairly out of the box. So I'm going to give that 4 chairs, because that's what it's for. Moose!
And down here in calculator land, 4 chairs, because out of the box, baby.
So we're going to have to brain on some really, really high-level linear algebra.
Really hard.
Math proofs. 4 chairs for makes with the working.
Brilliant.
Very common, so we'll see how the rest of the game holds up. Because, getting 4 chairs with makes with the working isn't that difficult. It just has to run when you click on it.
Yep.
So,
Which
shiny
is
and
getting
sounds.
better
How
on the
pretty
lens.
does it look? How pretty does it sound? Then,
Sometimes it sounds loud. But shiny and sounds for what it is. We're taking a look at it right now for the audio listeners that can't see. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, for what it's shiny. I like it. You can tell, this is not a half-horse job by any stretch of, Moose's imagination. My only thing with the sounds is, it's not full metal oonce oonce or wub wub, whatever the kids are doing today's. But, bit repetitive. But that does get saved simply because you can nix it right there. You can end that like Mel Gibson's career. So,
hey-oh.
at the end of the day, can't give it the 4 chairs, mainly because of the soundtrack, but this is the early review, and you got to keep in mind, we're not telling you what the final game is during this review. We're telling you whether or not you should spend that $14.99 wet, stinky cashes to get the early access. So in all fairness, 3 chairs.
Ooh. That's some sexy chairs and some sexy sound effects. So, shiny and sounds on my end. I was a bit of with this one because it looks all right. It's not a 2 chair, it's not a 4 chair. I would hesitate to give it my current score, but I mean there's nothing really wrong with it. For like Ven said, for what it is, it works. So for makes with the shiny and sounds, I'm gonna give it 3 chairs. It's actually decent looking. Moose.
And now that those 2 heathens have finally shut up, it's my turn. And on
Shut
my
up,
end,
Moose. No one likes you.
yeah, I still have to, I have to ding it at just the 1 chair because it's pretty jarring on how bad those skyboxes look. As soon as you enter a level, you get a tiny glimpse at the skybox. I know that people are not going to be looking at it a lot, and that's probably what they were thinking when they decided to go with that, but it's pretty jarring, so 3 chairs from me.
Well, that's some, again, very, very difficult mathematics. I'm going to say we're going to give it 3.92783 to the power of 9,822 chairs, or just 3 chairs. We want to keep it nice and simple. So, moving on to our control section. Then, did you feel like you were in control?
We have controllers. We got the X-Clone.
We have the technology.
Yes, we can rebuild it and make it more annoying as fuck all. All right, I think J-Man might even elaborate on this. Yes, it works out of the box with the X-Clone gamepad. No issue with that. You still have an option for using your wireless gerbil and your keyboard organ. That's brilliant. But with the X-Clone 360 gamepad, all that fun movement, it's not as precise if you've played it first with your wireless gerbil. The X-Clone 360, all right. The dual hat controller, it's like your aiming is more of a suggestion button. Have no idea, or no illusions, better yet, that you're going to have any refined motor control or movement with that business. So, yeah. And if you really want to play it on, with your wireless gerbil, holding down fire constantly is apparently painful after about 20 minutes.
Carpal tunnel. The early onsets.
Yeah.
That nerd rage, so I gotta give it 2 chairs. That's my final offer.
So I was actually going to give this 1 chair on controls until I followed Ben's advice and actually tried it out with the keyboard and mouse. He's right when he says you can't really aim with a controller. It's more of a you can aim up, down, left, or right. And that's about it. It works a lot better with the keyboard and mouse, but the movement... Basically, this game suffers from... The movement requires an analog stick, but the aiming requires a mouse. And that is the biggest thing that this game suffers from with controls. So, it's just bad. Ugh. You either get screwed one way or you get screwed another. I mean, the controls do work, so I can't give it 1 chair. Or really 1. This is 2 with an asterisk. It's really 1.5, but we round up, so whatever. 2 chairs. Moose.
And, well, I was getting kind of tired of getting shit for being the only one who is not using a Xbox 360 controller. And guess what? My DualShock 2 controller, which I currently don't have here, it works out of the box. And yes, the dual analog stick thing, if you actually use one of the diagonals, actually you can make a full circle and the Android will follow the analog stick just perfectly. So good on them for that. And well, playing with a keyboard and mouse isn't as much of a hindrance as it is in other games. So I really can't duck any chairs on this particular game. 4 chairs for me.
So, Pedro has to go be difficult. Be all moosey about this and make the math even harder. No.
Very hard.
2 chairs. 2 chairs, 4 controls. Our final subjective category is now fun. Ven, did you enjoy yourself? Did you walk away from this game with a big happy erection or 3?
Yeah, erection would be a strong word, and noodly limp dick might be more appropriate. If you like competing for the high score on a leaderboard, go for this. Or maybe some local co-op with your human friend.
Human.
I could almost recommend it. Hell, I would even support everything if it had online multiplayer. Apparently, this is a kryptonite of the
Unity games.
Yeah, even though it's really stupidly simple, they kind of built into Mothering Unity to do this. I enjoyed the first few levels, but it became, as with most things in life, like, what's the word? Repetitive with hella quickness. Single player does not make with the fun for me, but maybe something you could pick up. Hurt your hands. It's like, ow, all right, we're done with that. If you like doing that, punishing yourself. So I couldn't give it 1 chair. I mean, it's good for that. Boom, right there, 2 chairs in the face organ.
Yeah. So the one thing I actually did like about this game is that the levels are actually pretty short. So it's not that big of a time commitment. Makes it a decent pick up and play shmup. But ultimately I didn't really enjoy it all that much. The battery mechanic is really stupid because they like to say, "Oh, you're almost out of battery. Here's a new one behind this wall of 1,000 enemies that you can't walk through. Good luck with that." I did not enjoy myself playing this game. I would play for about 5 minutes, maybe I got through a level, nope, out.
What do you think they could fix with that?
What?
How could they fix it?
How could they fix it? I don't know. Shmups never really appealed to me in the first place, so I don't really have any concrete suggestions. Make it more fun.
Unfold it.
I'm gonna give this 2 chairs. Because it's not god-awful, but it's almost.
Again, the 2 heathens have spoken.
Shut up, Moose.
I'm going to be the nice guy on this one,
What
or
does
the nice
the moose
as the
say?
case may be. The Moose says the game would be a lot better if it had, online multiplayer, like Ven said. And as much as I like it, it's way too frustrating for me to give it, 4 chairs. It's not gonna happen. And one special mention, because I love the shotgun android, Coral or Coral or however you want to spell it. And she's really good for most levels, but when it comes to bosses, fuck me, having to get close to them to shoot them. Oh,
you know what? Everyone sucks with bosses, though. That was my experience.
Unless you roll the boss.
But, I can't. No, 3 chairs.
Really?
Well.
Wow.
Yes.
All right, fine.
Well, you know what? Giggling death aside, Ben and my scores are the ones that this averages out to, so our scores actually count. Pedro's doesn't. So
F
2
you.
chairs.
You can't bring
F
up when
to
we
the
bring
U.
down.
You know what, Moose? You can go die in a fire. A tasty fire. But anyways, we're going to average up
fire.
all our categories. Mix with the working, 4 chairs. Shiny and Sans, 3 chairs. Controls, 2 chairs. And fun, 2 chairs. And that totals up to a total score of totalness, 2 chairs. So, then, final thoughts?
Not sure if what. Take a drink, because at the end of the day, this is kind of fun. If this was, I don't know, like a £5 game for early access, not thinking about it, I would have definitely thrown at least an extra chair in every single segment, because, yeah. But you're looking to buying something that's unfinished, and $14.99. Now, we gave some copies away last week. I would like, chat realm, you guys who want it, send us a note and let us know what you thought about it. We'll put that in the screaming hate mail next week. But yeah, I can't recommend paying 15 wet stinky cashes for it in its current state. Multiplayer, like I said, would definitely pwn some noobs.
I'd never really considered the multiplayer aspect, but yeah, it could be a bit more fun if you threw another player or 2 in there. Yeah, if you don't like shmups, you're probably gonna not like this game, like me. So check it out if you're into shmups. It's definitely not worth the $14.99, $13.89, 810 rupee thing, whatever. So yeah, I'd give this one a pass.
And I guess I am still the dissenting voice on this one, because I think it's worth it. I think, again, it's early access, they're still finishing the game, and hopefully they'll introduce multiplayer, because that would be freaking awesome. But even without multiplayer, I think that for a shmuppy bullet hell type single player game, it works, and it doesn't have retro pixel graphics. And to me, it's worth it. And if you like shmuppy bullet hell type games, pick it up. No questions asked, no quarter given.
So you heard the Moose, and you should probably ignore him if you care about the contents of your wallet. Coming up next, hate mail. Your hate mail.
And now, the recurring theme for this week is that I'm a moose. But enough about us. Let's talk about you guys for a second. This is this segment that you guys scream in our direction and we read it on air. Because why not?
Live on air.
I mean, it's Saturday night. You got nothing better to do, right?
Or Sunday morning, even.
Or Sunday morning.
You're in Australia, Sunday afternoon.
Brilliant. Chemo Brotron no one. Buggy? Question mark?
Muggy? So, at 3600, because this guy fucking tracked down the timestamp, which I'm pretty sure is incorrect. Jordan complains about the what's in all the vents thing.
This is from last week's show, right?
Yes, while we were reviewing Mark of the Ninja, for those of you who need a refresher. Previously on Linux GameCast. You shouldn't be hearing this at all, so I guess he has the same always run bug with the controller, which fits with the camera bug. It's a guess. The Linux port of Mark of the Ninja is still buggy. Well, shit. It still deserves the crappy score I gave it then.
Because bugs.
We really tore that game a new one.
So there is that. But Ven, let me taste your tears. They're so delicious and sweet. Oh, they're so good.
I don't even want to go through this dramatic reading. Sorry to inform you, we are not going to do a 32-bit build. We made one, and it works, but capitalization. Our engine does not officially support it. And we don't want to put something out there now that we'll have to take away later. It's likely we'll do something at this point. That will break it working on 32-bit. Now, you're wondering about this dramatic pause. Well, that's because this
direct messaging on Twitter.
Yeah. Email, man. Email. My box blew up, and I was like, you have like 9 new direct messages. And I was like, finally, Sarah Jessica Parker is dead, and everyone's informing me. Long story behind that for another time. But no, this is from the guys from Final Tactics, or Just Tactics, I believe. Jordan wrote that, Jordan Brock, and he really genuinely went through. Oh, see, that's the bottom of the scrolly thing. And I will reply, thanks for the feedback and the DM comedy. Gold.
I will say this though. Get a 64-bit machine? Buddy, everything on the market's a 64-bit machine.
And I like, the way he feels so smug about it. Get a 64-bit machine, smiley face. Modern technology
However,
nice.
I will say, you freaking Luddite should switch over to 64-bit. Come join us. The water's lemon.
Well, about the game that we're not even going to mention, I was like, oh, good luck being that game on Steam for Linux. The one that only supports 64-bit? That one? That doesn't mothering exist? All right.
And finally, one chair to rule them all. One chair to find them. One chair to bring them all in the darkness and bind them. In the land of Portugal, where moose lies.
For it was not us who chose the chairs. Nay.
They chose us.
And in the darkness, bind them. All right, go ahead, P-Man. Read it.
This comes from Andrew Dixon on the Google Pluses. And in the darkness, bind them. Made in Blender on an Asus EEE PC within an hour, rendered on a crappy old single-core PC. And yes, it's the golden chair rendered on a calculator.
Chair. So do you get that for naming like all of the racial slurs? And
No, that's a bite-sized Snickers.
Damn.
Yes.
I really wanted the golden chair.
We
Actually,
should totally
Halloween's
use
coming
this
up. We should buy a
one for
bag of bite-sized Snickers.
You get a Snickers, and you get a Snickers, and you get some racist epithet.
Yep.
That's cool.
No, but we should totally use this one for like the end of the year special LGC episode where we give out chairs to the best and worst games of the year, like, professional video game reviewers.
For the end of the year episode, we need to Jay and Silent Bob it, fly to all of these developers' houses, and then beat them with however many lawn chairs they won.
This should be the award for the best games. I wonder if we can make one with like rotten tidbits of horse for the worst games.
Well, I say make some silver ones and make them rotate, and we can use them for animated graphics. Transparent background. Indeed. Fantastic work on that, but man, it's so quiet. So deathly quiet, J-Man.
I know, the silence is deafening.
Put on your moose music.
Moose.
What does the moose say?
He makes for the music. Tell him about us.
And check us out at linuxgamecast.com/live if you want to watch us live every Saturday night at 9 p.m. abouts. You can also check us out at linuxgamecast.com/podcast. We got our chat realm static on our forums link. Go there. We got our Facebook page that Pedro would talk your ear off about if we actually let him speak, but we're not going to do that.
God damn it.
We also have our favorite Kiwi. You should check out second favorite Kiwi, Linux_gaming. It's a great subreddit. Join it and go upvote some crap.
Upvote and downvote.
Upvote, downvotes. YouTube.com/LinuxGameCast if you want to watch our backlog. And if you want to listen to our podcast on YouTube, there is something wrong with you. Once again, I'm Jordan Svung. You can find me at The Burning Fool on Twitter or plus Jordan Svung on the Google+. That guy is Venstone. You can find him cleverly disguised under at Venstone or plus Venstone on the Twitters and the G+. Look, that 8 is equal to D. And if that's true, tilde. And this guy over here, that's Moose Mateus. Moose Teus. At Unaccounted For. Plus Pedro Mateus. That has been episode 57 of Linux GameCast Weekly. Then I think there's only one thing left to do.
With the lovely people!